Okay. Assalamu alaikum students. Hope you all are going good. So you all know that due to these unexpected respites we got due to the reason of smog, you are sitting at home. So despite being sitting at home, we being teachers making sure that you won't waste your time. So we have prepared our online lecture sessions. So this is your new lesson you are going to read now. As you know that we have already covered our 4 lessons, 4 units in reading comprehension class 6. So this is the unit 5 that have 3 parts. This is the first topic, that is an experiment with cuttlefish. So this is on page number 62. Hope you all have books with you, and kindly please open your books so we can better coordinate with each other while on being online. So unit 5, page number 62, an experiment with cuttlefish. It's an autobiographical escapade, and you know that we have already read few lessons on which we know that at the certain corner of the lesson we are given the narration type, that what it looks like, what it sort of the type of narration is, whether it is autobiographical, personal experience, report writing, essay, account, whatsoever. So this is an autobiographical escapade. Autobiographical means as you go on with the lesson, you will proceed reading the lesson. In the very first paragraph, you will see the sentence that Jonathan, Eric and I is Oliver Sack, the student or the boy who is going to narrate the story. The narrator of the story is Oliver Sack, who has written his own personal experience of experimenting the cuttlefish when he was a boy. Now that means he was sharing the experience of his being boyhood. Now it means he's not a boy anymore, maybe he's a man. So he said that autobiographical means it's his personal escapade. You can see escapade is a thrill, adventure sort of activity. So this is our lesson for today. The topic is okay. The word escapade means a thrill, an adventure, a prank, a fun sort of activity. And autobiographical, you know what it means. Autobiographical means a biography, documentary, memoir. So the one who writes itself. So as we proceed in the lesson, it's an autobiographical escapade because the narrator is the main character of the story. He himself is narrating his own experience, his own adventure of his life when he was a boyhood. So the first word, cuttlefish. Cuttlefish, an invertebrate, a mollusk having legs. Mostly it weighs from 1.5 to 2 kg and its size from 15 to 25, 1.5 to 2.5 centimeter. And next we have a word washed up, and these are the words we have in the introduction. Washed up word means deposited by the tide of the shore. Washed up is used in the lesson for the cuttle bone, the shell of the bone, the shell of the fish, mostly for which the fish is famous for, the bone that used to deposit on the shore of the sea or the bank of the sea. Then we have paragraph 1, we have a word height, Kent, and the word height is a place in United Kingdom, a place famous for the ports or harbors. Then we have trawler. The word used in the first paragraph is commercial trawler. Commercial for the purpose of trading. Trawler means a fishing boat. The boat used for fishing. Phonetically we use for someone who is extremely interested or extremely eager to do something, when we are extremely involved in something, or when we are extremely willing to do something. Dissect is cut, to lay open or to operate. Then we have second paragraph, we have word due, that is awaited, means something that is pending or something that is not happened yet, and it's expected to happen in a few days or months. Coming time, dull, heavy or low sound. It's a dull third word. The dull third. The word is dull third. Third is a sound. Dull third means a low, heavy sound while you have by striking something to some soft material. For example, if we just throw a book on the bed, so the sound that we get is a dull third, or something else by striking some hard thing to some soft thing. Okay. Grotesque, something strange or unpleasant. An event that is not pleasant for us, or the thing that is not pleasant for us, we used to say that it is grotesque. Fermented means decomposition or decaying of something. Then we have word exploded, means blast. Then we have house down. House down is a phrasal verb, as it has house with the preposition down. It's a phrasal verb, means to clean something or someone with water from the hose. Stench, something strong, pungent smell or foul smell or odor, it is called stench. Then we have paragraph 3. The word is ingenious, means someone who is clever, smart, productive. It can be taken in both ways, positive and negative. Smart, ingenious, or productive or creative, who always comes up with different ideas or unique ideas. Pooled means like we have pooled for our party. Like we have contributed money or things or accessories or food, whatever. Pooled means contributed or collected something. Overwhelming is too many, too much, more than normal, immense, too much excitement. Insupportable means unforgivable. Then we have paragraph 4. The word is uninhabitable. Uninhabitable we used to say for a place where we cannot live, a place that is not fit for living, a place that is not suitable for living. Unimpaired, not make weaker or lesser. For example, like my love for book reading is unimpaired despite of my busy routine. Right? Okay. Despite of being busy, I'm not away from my routine or habit, that it hasn't affected my loving or liking for something. Putrefied means decay, decomposition, miasma, harmful atmosphere, or a bad environment. So these are the words that you are going to have in your lesson while reading. So I have written all the meanings. You can pause the video, you can write down the meaning paragraph wise. So while reading we cannot face any sort of difficulty in translating the lesson. So coming to the lesson, it's just a story as it is written in the title, an experiment with cuttlefish. Autobiographical expedient, I have already mentioned that it's an autobiographical escapade, that a person, the narrator is Oliver Sacks. Oliver Sacks is the narrator. Narrator is the writer himself, and he is narrating the incident of his boyhood when he was a boy. That means he is not a boy anymore. He was a boy and he shared his experience and experiment with the cuttlefish. He was saying that when his friends' parents, they tried to spend their summer vacations in Hythe, a port place, a harbor place in United Kingdom. They rented a house there. So while going to beach, one day he saw cuttle bone deposited on the shore. So most of the time, what fishermen used to do, they used to just throw them back in the sea, because many people don't like to eat them. Though they are edible for them, but still people don't like to eat them. They used to send them back in the sea. But one day when he saw that they are about to throw them in the sea, he just क्या हुआ? So when he saw that fishermen, they are about to throw them in the sea, he asked them to not throw them, and he and his friend Jonathan and Eric, three of them, they just bucket them up. They use the pail and tubs and other accessories to bring them at home. So their parents were not around them, so they won't be hesitated and they won't feel any kind of fear. So they just want to have an experiment with them. What they did, they just collect all the cuttlefish and they put it in their basement, where they put them in the separate jars and they fermented them with the alcohol. Fermented them means like, what is mean by fermented? When you fermented something, it's like when you use the alcohol for processing something. Like we used to ferment the bread. Your mother used to ferment the bread while they make pizzas or doughs at home. They use yeast or bacteria. So in the same way they use alcohol. Alcohol is also a product of fermentation. Alcohol, beers, wines, they are also the product of fermentation. They used to fermented the grapes and they make the wine, alcohol and different sort of material like this. So he fermented the cuttlefish with the material or with the liquid that is already a product of fermentation. So he doesn't know how to ferment the cuttlefish. He was too fanatic and he was too excited that he just did it. And what he did, he put the different cuttlefish, dozens of cuttlefish in the jar and fermented them with the alcohol. And still he doesn't know the quantity they need to be fermented, that quantity of alcohol. Like he was a kid, he was a boy, so he was very much excited and he made plans in his mind that he went to his school and he would show the cuttlefish, the fermented cuttlefish to his teacher and his friends and the biology teacher. He would be very happy and he would give a single cuttlefish individually to one student in his class, to every student, in his class to dissect. he was making such plans in his mind. And while after few days, when he and his friends were coming back from school, they just saw that there is a loud noise in the basement. While going to the basement, what they see? They see that every jar, it was blasted. Every jar was blasted, and all the cuttlefish, they just stick on the walls of the floor or the walls of the basement. So these were the reaction. After few days, the fermented cuttlefish responded in this way. So it was very difficult for them to wash that area. He was worried how to clean that area, because cuttlefish was sticking at the lumps or the pieces, the scattered, the blasted cuttle piece. It was sticked on the wall, ceiling, floor, walls. So they tried very hard to clean it up, and they used the word hose down, means they use a pipe, mostly hose down the pipe they used for cleaning the air conditioned outdoor ACs, the pipe that has a strong flow of water, a gush of water. So they used to clean it, but the pungent smell, the foul smell that spread around yards and meters, even though they have opened the windows and doors of the basement, still the foul smell remained constant, intact, and they were very much worried about it. So the Eric, being the most creative and the ingenious one, he brought up with an idea that what we should do, that we have to cover this smell with another strong and pungent smell. So they pooled their accessories and resources, and they bring the coconut essence. So they spread coconut essence in the basement. Still, for the time being, it was like the smell has gone, but still when their parents have come back, they were very much disappointed with the smell, and they just left the house because it was inhabitable, like nobody can live for there. And after that, they came to know that for months the house was empty, nobody has come to live there. So in the last paragraph, Oliver said he realized his mistake. He said, "It was my greed to collect dozens of cuttlefish for the experiment. If I want to have an experiment, it should be with the one cuttlefish." And also he realized that it's not necessary for me to ferment the cuttlefish with alcohol. I can use somebody's help. I can ask my teacher. I can get the right quantity for the fermentation. I don't know the right quantity. I just put the alcohol without knowing the exact quantity which is needed for the fermentation. So the parents also realized that they should not leave their kids unattended or unsupervised. That's how the story is. So I'm not going to read the thorough lesson as I used to do in the class, but if you feel that you need a thorough reading for understanding better, you can comment me in the comment section. So I will do work on it. So try to read yourself. This is your book and this is the lesson. So this is the lesson. I have discussed all the meanings. I have discussed the story paragraph wise. So read it yourself. Try to get the meanings and try to solve the exercises also. These are the exercises. Vocabulary exercise. I have discussed all the meanings, and these are the question also. Try to do it at home. I have discussed all the answers as well. If you find any difficulty, do let me know. I will work on it, inshallah.